We all have inherited things from our family, but I don't think we're fully aware of it. And I've really been digging into this lately in my own life. Hi, Mom and Dad. And both the good things and bad things of just family dynamics and values and things that have been passed down. And I think we're unaware of so much. In fact, in Jeremiah, the prophet says that the father eats the sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. Basically, what the father's consuming affects the children. The Bible all throughout it talks about blessing and cursing being handed down from generation to generation. In fact, we are all blessed because of Abraham's faith. You thought of that? That's a few generations ago. Just a few. And I can't even name my great-great-great-grandparents or grandma. In fact, most people can't. But it's affecting our lives. We're going to ask two questions today. And I want you to dig in and just think about them. And the reason is not to blame, not to feel bad, not to judge, but just to give a greater understanding, because you, my friend, have certain lenses at which you view the world, and some of them you might not fully be aware of. Let's dive into question number one. What assets have you inherited from your family of origin? What assets have you inherited from your family of origin? I mean, think about it for a second. In your own life, what positive things did your family instill? You know, I come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad had 13 restaurants at one point. My mom ran Bible study fellowships at a very large scale. Those are good things. They taught me how to lead on a large level. I inherited that. In fact, two things about Zach when he was younger that just says my little naiveness, which I think we all had because we see our reality as normal. Number one, I thought my parents went to the Olympics in the 80s to compete in LA. I was convinced this is true. In fact, I told all my classmates that my parents ran in the Olympics. They went and watched the Olympics in the 80s and they ran as a hobby. So I didn't inherit Olympic blood, but I wish I did. Come on, Mom and Dad. But what I did inherit, which was the next story, I thought everyone's dad owned a business. I just thought that's what you do. You own a business. And so I had no fear at 22 to start my own business. Like, I didn't know that I was supposed to be afraid. I didn't know that I was over my head. That's just what Newmans do. We start businesses. One of the values my family has, I believe, Newmans are leaders. It's an asset. I've just took that as my identity and I ran with it. What things are said that your last name stands for? Positive things. Even negative experiences, how did that positively affect you? And maybe if your parents didn't positively affect you, how about grandparents? How about great-grandparents? Do you know what was going on in their life? In fact, on my dad's side, my great-grandpa was an inventor. Here's another cool thing. In every major war, back to French and Indian, Revolution, my family were pastors in the army. That's a cool thing that I had to dig for. I didn't know, but that's a legacy passed down. What assets? They're there. No matter how hard of an upbringing you had, there's positive there. Number two, this one's a little more challenging. What liabilities have I inherited from my family of origin? What liabilities? There are things that your family does very well, and there's things that they don't do well. And we'll have a tendency to do those things. This isn't to condemn them. This isn't to blame them. This is just in curiosity, what liabilities? You know that Newman's lead? That's an asset, but it's also a liability. Because Newmans struggle to follow. See, sometimes the asset and the liability are two sides of the same coin. See, there's another one. We help people, and I have no problem helping people. But you know what liability comes with that? That I need help. That's a hard one to admit. Another asset, my family gets things done. We are hard workers. Liability, we really struggle to rest. Rest takes work. See, as Pete Scazzaro said, Jesus is in our hearts, but Grandpa's in our bones. And all he's saying here, which I agree with, is God is redeeming us and restoring us, and we still have our old nature that sometimes we don't know why we're doing what we're doing. Again, the purpose of these questions are not to condemn our family. It's just to look like, what are we automatically responding to so that we can have awareness, so that in our awareness we can say, God, change this in me, or God, cement this in me. Because in our awareness, we can leave the next generation healthier than this generation. Have a great day, and God bless you as you look at your inheritance.